I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is
the Family Showdown!
Howdy folks, welcome back to my top 100 games of all time. I'm Hunter, and with me today, the illustrious, nay, glamorous, Rebecca.
Glamorous, huh?
Glamorous. Superstar.
Brother.
Alright. Today we're going about 20 to 11. Oh goodness, this is the ones that just missed the top 10.
Wow, they suck.
No. They are awesome. They leave me breathless. Because they're so heavy. Meaning the boxes are heavy. It's a pretty good stack over here. And I had to do my secondary. So a couple of times earlier in the list, there was the secondary shelf. Secondary shelf. Because they're so big. Alright.
Yeah.
Let's start off right away. Right away, my number 20 is my 18 last time. So holding strong.
It is.
It is the game of asymmetry.
Do you have to be strong to lift it?
No, it's one of the smaller ones.
Oh.
Game of asymmetry because everyone's basically playing almost a different game.
Yo.
In Merchant's
Yes!
Cove.
I love this game.
Merchant's
I love this
Cove. So Merchant Cove, you are a group of merchants in a fantasy world building goods for the venturers to come into town and purchase from you. But you build them in all different ways. Maybe you're playing some worker placement. Maybe you're doing some roll and radishness. Maybe you're doing a little marble explosion type stuff. Maybe you're doing dice placement. The choice is yours.
You can pick.
And so basically everyone has their own little board they're playing. They're manipulating. They're playing a different style of game. All in the effort to make products to sell on the main board. The main board is the main board. So basically the products are for sale. The adventurers are coming to town. They're going to want different types of products. You have a little bit of control on where the adventurers go and what products they want. It's cool. It is really fun. It's very interesting to me too how you are playing a different style of game within the same game. It's really interesting to me. It's got a nice. I like fantasy. There's going to be lots of fantasy themed.
Yeah, I'd
stuff.
say so.
Love fantasy. I love the way it works. I love the board play, the economy of the board. You can get superpowers. It can be special abilities, all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, I love this game. Not as much as you. It's like my 53. But it's so cool because, I mean, at its heart, you are playing the same game because you have, like, the end goals are all the same. But how you go about getting there, it's almost like pick your favorite thing, pick your favorite mechanism, and that's what you're going to do.
Right.
You know, and I just, it's so much fun. We need to play this some more because we've gone through, I think we've played everything.
I think between us, we played everything.
But like individually, I still want to play everything because it's just funny. Like I even played the one that's like the little roll and write chica, and she was like a little
shaman or whatever.
Yeah, she's a little shaman. So I throw some random things into a cup, and however they fall and what falls in and out, and all this stuff is like the foretelling the future is what I get to do.
Right, and it's a roller, very much.
It was really cool. And then I did the potion explosion one, and I was like, "This is amazing!" I played potion explosion. Like it's just. There's so much fun because we're still setting up to sell the potions. You have your little potion stand, but how you get there is like, it really is completely different. And it's just kind of mind blowing that they pulled that off and made it a really fun game. I think that this does not get enough credit for what it does, honestly.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really interesting to me. There's so many different levels, right? You get what's going on your board. You got the almost like if you've played. Emotep and the way that the adventurers come to the different islands. Once the boat fills up, they land, that sort of thing. You can kind of decide where they go.
Yeah, you can kind of manipulate that.
There's superpowers. There's even almost a marketing type of system. I think it's guild. I forget what it's called, but there's almost a marketing system that you can do to improve your character. It's rock solid. I love it quite a bit. It's a little tough to teach because everyone's playing the game a little bit differently, but they have little sheets that you can, if they're experienced gamers, go, hey, you're playing the shaman, here's your character, read this real quickly, and if you don't have any questions, let me know, that sort of thing. That's how I kind of teach, because we usually play with experienced gamers, so you can just say, hey, this is your character, read it, if you don't understand what's going on, let me know. That sort of thing. Everybody kind of quickly reads through their section, and then I'll teach the main game, and we're ready to rock.
So much fun.
It's a good one. For a 2-player, it's an hour-long game, which is great for us. It knocks out you get a full experience in an hour. There's a kickstarted expansion for more different classes that we get to try out and do. It's just fun. It's just
Production's
fun.
good.
Yeah.
It
I really like
boxes.
it. And I like the theme, beyond the fantasy theme. I like the themes where they kind of take the traditional setup and flip it, because I like the old dungeon keeper game where you're the bad guys and the adventurers are coming in and doing your thing. This kind of flips on your head. You're not the adventurers gathering equipment to go on your adventure.
No,
you're the merchant.
Yeah.
You're producing the goods for those adventures. So it kind of flips that thing on its head.
That is really cool.
I find that interesting. There you go. My number 20. It dropped a little bit, just 2 spots.
Just needs to be played again.
Merchant's Cove.
Just needs to be played again.
Let's move on to my number 19. So this one was on our longest. I'll spit that in a second. Our longest game between plays that we've had, almost. And it was way up on my list, and it slowly creeped down because we weren't playing it.
Okay.
It started out way up at 13.
Dang, okay.
And it dropped all the way to 42. Stayed at 41. And then we played it again, and boom, it's back, baby. Back up at 19.
Dang, okay.
So 13, 42, 41, back at 19, because I love me some Rising Sun.
That was really good.
God, this game is just so good.
So good.
It's just hard to get, because it's the 3-player thing, and it's hard to get games that are 3+ players to the table. And we finally said, I'm playing it. Whoever the next person that comes over our house, they're going to play this game. It's going to happen. And it happened. And I remember how much I love it. I love this one just sings at 3 and 5 players. I just love the whole bidding for actions, kind of negotiation in a way. Super asymmetrical power, dudes on the map, fighting, all kinds of upgrades. You can upgrade your clan to all these different things. You can hire these monster guys that go out and crush everybody.
Yeah.
It is just fun. It is.
It's really good.
It's the secret hidden bidding thing. Some people don't like that. I think it's awesome. It's very.
That's probably the only thing I'm kind of mad.
It's very puzzling to me. I enjoy that. It's the kind of puzzle I enjoy. It's like, okay, Rebecca really wants to do that. I'm probably not going to win it, so I'm just not even going to bid on that. I'm going to bid on something else, right? Yeah. Or she really wants to do that, but I want to stop her from doing that, so I'm going to bid a ton. And then she bid one more than you. You're like, oh, darn it. And it's area control. Different regions are going to score, so it basically, just like in Blood Rage, or certain regions that are going to be in focus for this round. This one has, these regions are going to score, and everyone just rushes their guys over to try to take control of those regions. Every clan has a superpower that's off the charts, crazy powerful.
It is.
You think it's game breaking, but you look down. I've got a game breaking power. She's got a game breaking power. Everyone has a game.
And you get a game breaking power.
You build these little buildings that give you benefits in that region. Well, the turtle guys, their buildings walk around. Their buildings
right.
And then you got the dragonfly guys. They can move every region's adjacent to them. They can go move anywhere they want on the board.
Yeah, they can.
It's just crazy. How does this even work? It's got all these different events that go on, things that happen. It's just, this game is awesome. I mean, I guess not playing it for several years kind of punished it, because I kind of forgot how much I loved it.
It did. It knew.
And I do. This one's awesome. This is one of my favorite. Is it my favorite game that requires 3 players?
Might be.
No.
Really?
No. But this one is awesome. It doesn't get to the table very often, but when it does, wow.
It seems.
Wow. It's got that wow factor. And, the miniatures are off the chart. Cool.
Well, Simon, they have the stupid, ridiculous minis. And they did such a neat job.
And we still haven't got all the expansion stuff played yet. Each time we add a little bit more, but we haven't played everything yet.
Oh my gosh. That blows my mind.
All right. Rising Sun. It is a good one.
Yep.
Let's move on to my number 18. It was 11. It's got a little bit of dropsies, but it's hanging out. It's hanging out in the same 10.
Okay.
It's slowly dropping just because we just don't get it played as much. We played this one a ton early on, and now it's kind of infrequent when we play it, so it's getting a little bit of drops. But it was way back in 2018. It was my 8, and then it was 8 the next year, and then 9, 11, now down to 18. That is the one that you are currently on your shelf over there.
Oh, this monstrosity!
It's got its own table. It's so big.
I don't even notice it because I thought I had a wall next to me.
Anachrony, the Infinity Box, the Infinity Stone.
It feels like it's got an infinity stone.
Anachrony. So this one is a sci-fi worker placement game. It's got a time traveling mechanism ish in it. You're going out. You have your own little player board, like your little area that you can do different actions on. But you also have these very powerful actions in the capital city. Unfortunately, there's like radioactive stuff between you and the city, so you have to get these put on these top in a mech and travel to the capital city to do your actions. The mechs are almost like a limited resource. You have to kind of budget. Do I want to buy 3 mechs? Do I want to do 3 actions? Do I want to buy 4 mechs? So you kind of budget how many mechs you want to purchase for that round to go out and do the capital city actions. It's got resource management, but the gimmick, it's always a gimmick. The gimmick is it has a time travel mechanism-ish. Basically, you can say, oh gosh, I really need one of those purple cubes. I don't have any purple cubes. But in the future, I could send a purple cube back to me now, and I can use it. Magic. But some point in the future, you got to send a purple cube back in time to yourself. You create these paradoxes and these anomalies, and there's all these minus points and minus stuff for having those going on if you don't complete it. So Bill and Ted's thing is like, well, if we only had our keys. Well, here's what we'll do. After we're done, we'll go back. We'll go in the future. We'll go back in time. We'll put the keys right here. And look, here they are.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of how Anachrony does the time traveling. You're not actually traveling through time, but you are moving resources, almost like a loan system.
Yeah.
But they give it.
It's time travel.
It's time travel.
Because
time travel. We got the massive Infinity Box of Infinityness.
You can't miss it.
It is got. Of course, we had everything for it, but now it's organized. You have actually player containers that you can hand out to people, like Rebecca said in the previous top 10. It's great when you can just say, "Here's all your stuff," and it's in a nice little container. It has all those. We have the mechs. We don't have the metal mechs, but we have all the little mech guys.
There's metal mechs?
There's metal mechs, yes.
That's insane. Yeah. This already weighs 500 pounds.
So metal mechs is for Scythe. I don't know if they had metal mechs for Anachrony.
Good grief, I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think they did.
Okay, good.
I'm confusing my games. Anyway, the Infinity Box is completely unnecessary, but it does do a really good job of organizing the game.
Oh, it's necessary.
We play with most of the expansions. There's a couple that we don't play with. There's like the Doomsday track. I don't think we play with that, which is kind of if I recall correctly, it punishes you a little bit if you don't do certain things.
Yeah, I think we played with that a couple times and didn't like it, and so we stopped.
I don't remember. We don't play with that, but for the most part, we play with everything. The mechs are totally worth it. It's so cheesy because you have these little scientist guys that you they're little cardboard chits, and if you don't have the mechs, you just have a mech token. You set your little science guy and you put it on the board. This one you actually have a mech, and you take your little science guy, and he sits inside the little mech, and he moves on the board. It's hilarious. It's so cheesy, but it's hilarious to see your little scientist in his little mech going out to the different work.
Kind of reminds me of that forklift thing in the Alien movies,
and
she's like going through with that. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Rando person in this big giant net.
Yes.
But anyway, the game is also you build buildings, so your worker placement spots are limited on your board, but you can build buildings that give you superpowers, let you have more places to go. At the same time, the capital actions are very valuable, but they're very hard. It takes extra resources to take those actions. Resource management, contract fulfillment. You're doing these big projects that give you bonuses, all in a kind of a race, because at some point there's a big asteroid that's heading for the planet, and you have an escape plan. To quote a different name. You have an escape plan to get off the planet. Like I have to produce these things or have these things done, and then I can leave. And if you don't leave, then bad things happen. So you have to get off the planet before the comet or asteroid, whatever it hits the planet. It's a great one. It's awesome. It's heavy. It's a heavy worker placement game. But at its heart, it is just a worker placement, resource management style game. But I like the theme. It's cheesy. It is. I like the time travel thing. I think it's funny. Because in my head, I can visualize that, like the scientist sitting there is like, we need some uranium. Here's what you got, Joe. 3 weeks from now, you're gonna go out and mine some uranium and send it back in time to me. And look, I have uranium.
So ridiculous. Except, what if 3 weeks from now you're already off the planet? Dun dun dun.
And then paradoxes happen and bad things happen and you lose points and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, Anachrony, you don't need this infinity box monstrosity.
Oh, you do.
But it is pretty cool. That was my number 18. 11 last time. Gone down a little bit. There's one that went up. Here's one that went up. So this one's got like almost like a bell curve action going on. So it was 15, 20, 24, 27, and now back down to 17. We played it again, and it is cemented itself as my favorite Vital Lacerta game.
Let's go.
It's her favorite Vital Lacerta game. Now it is my favorite Vital Lacerta game.
That makes me so happy to hear.
Vital Lacerta's Vinos.
Another tiny little unassuming game.
Vinos. This is another one of the Eve Griffin Lacerta combo production, off the charts production games.
It's lovely.
So we had Viticulture way back in my 24. This is a superior winemaking game.
No, he didn't. Oh, no, he
Vinos. We played this one again fairly recently.
Yes.
And I just remembered how much I love this game. It's just got, just like Vinos has a nice flow to it, this has a nice flow. You build vineyards, you basically get workers for those vineyards, you produce wine, you kind of age your wine, you go and send it to a market to sell, or you can send it off, export it, or send it to a local tavern to get cash. If you need cash, a little cash or some points, you can do that. Quick points, quick cash, you can do that, or you can save it. Your best wine, take it to the fair, you show it off. Look at my wine, it's amazing. But what I love about Lacerta games, and as heavy as the games are in depth, and so many choices, like which vineyards do I do, what wine am I going to reduce, which workers am I going to buy, what wines am I going to do, oh my gosh, there's weather that changes everything, all this stuff going on.
Oh, I forgot about
but
weather.
At its heart, it's a 3x3 grid of actions you're selecting. You have a little pawn guy. It's like, I'm going to go take this action, or I'm going to go take this action, or I'm going to go take this action. And that's all it is. It's action selection. It's a very simple, straightforward document. But what's interesting is I can just go through those actions, and each one of those helps me explain the game. It's like, okay, this action you can do this. You can build a vineyard. This is how vineyards work. Blah 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 blah. This is a map. You do this and this and this. Over here, you're going to go. This is how you hire workers. This is what workers do for you. Blah, 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 blah. So you basically have a cheat teaching key to teach the game, and it has a nice little round flow chart that you can go down. Blah, 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 blah. This is all the things happening around. This is one of the easier ones to teach for me, to reteach to Rebecca. So it's for what it's worth, that pushes it up the list is the fact this is, of all the ones, the big box, the Lacerta games, this is the easiest one for me to teach. Because it's got a nice flow, a lot like I mentioned when I mentioned Viticulture. It's got a nice little flow to the game. This one has a nice flow that makes it easy to explain. This one gets to the table easier. It's quicker to relearn than all the other ones, because I mean we play games pretty infrequently, so it's almost a relearning process each time we play. This one's the easiest to learn, easiest to teach. I love it. It's reestablished itself as my favorite Lacerta game.
It's my number 18.
Well, look at that. I like it more than you. It is our favorite. It is locked in. I was kind of cheating on it with on Mars.
On Mars, I was gonna say I was shocked to see this.
Now it is.
On Mars was your favorite.
So they basically swap places almost exactly.
That's interesting.
They almost exactly swap same places this year.
So if we play them back to back, do you think it could change next year?
I don't think so, because on Mars is much harder to teach. It's harder to get a table. It's harder to teach. Like I said, that gives it a little boost.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, let's move on.
Interesting.
My number 16. It was 15 last time, so it's holding strong. It was way up in my top 10 for years. It was 4, 3, 4, 5, dropped to 15, now 16. It's still holding strong. It's just kind of dropping a little bit because we've played this one a lot. We played this a lot 2-player. We played this a lot with multiplayers. We played through an entire campaign, like tons of play. It's just not getting back to the table as often, so it's kind of dropped a little bit. It's got a little bit of punishment, but I think it's going to hang out in this area for a while. It's just so rock solid, and that is Scythe.
Oh yeah, I forgot the whole campaign thing with that. Oh, such a good game.
It's not. It was a expansion that basically introduced expansion pieces as you work your way through the campaign,
and it was
really fun. It was
really well done.
It probably would have been better with more, but we really enjoyed even playing the campaign 2-player. Mm-hmm. This just doesn't get to the table much because, like I said, we played for a while. This is probably one of our heavier games. This is probably one of the most played heavy games that we've played.
Yes.
We enjoy it 2-player. It's better probably with 3 or 4, maybe even 5. But I like the 2-player in the fact that We can kind of decide based on which factions we pick how much we interact with each other. But it's really just it's a Euro game with a little bit of fighting, and the fighting isn't that punishing.
No.
But it's almost a race for achievements. So you got all these different achievements you're trying to get, little stars you're trying to earn. Which reminds me of video games like, oh, you go over here and you do this, and you get a little star, and you go over here and you do this little thing. You're getting these achievements that triggers the end of the game. Then your reputation, in combination with the stuff you've done during the game, is how you score. You get money for all this, and whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins. This is, I said the metal mechs in Anachrony. This is the one that has the metal mechs.
Ridiculous. Still ridiculous.
But the factions are very asymmetrical. Even your player boards are the random player boards you get are somewhat asymmetrical as well.
So neat.
There's in the center there's factory. You can get a superpower that makes you very unique. It's an ability that only you are going to have in the game, which is really cool. You can upgrade your power. Your actions can get upgraded. Basically, you have little cubes at the let's say at the top actions that you, as you upgrade those, you take those off, and it makes those actions more efficient. At the same time, it makes your action, you move those cubes down, it makes your action down the bottom cheaper to do, nice. Which is really cool. It's got a whole reminds me a lot of a real-time strategy game, because you got little workers are going out and taking over different areas, and you're getting resources based on what areas you control. It's got exploration, has little tokens. You go out and you get this exploration card, which is fun. It's a kind of almost a choose your own adventure kind of thing. Situations like farmers have some pigs loose. Do you help the farmer? Well, if you do, you'll get reputation and this. Do you attack the pigs and take them so you get a bunch of food, but you lose some reputation? Or do you just let the pigs run wild and see what happens, and you get this other thing? You know,
it's just delightful. I love those scenarios. They're usually funny.
Which makes it a hard choice, because usually it's a choice of increasing your reputation but getting less stuff, or decreasing your reputation
and getting lots of great stuff.
It's like, that's really inviting.
Well, plus the scenarios are just funny, because you almost want to do the chaotic thing just because it's hilarious, you know. But it's a solid game. We didn't even got a lot of the upgrade stuff. We don't got the big board, and we got all the expansions. We just didn't get the kind of the upgraded stuff like the mechs and the big board and some other things. I love it. It's a good one. It's just played a lot, so it's got a little punished because the wanting to play this is a little bit lower for me. If you watch my intros, like games that I really want to play kind of get a boost. The games that I don't want to play as much kind of get pushed down a little bit, and this is suffering from that because we've played this game a lot,
15 or 20 times, which is a lot
for a big game.
For a big game for us, that is a lot of plays. So
for sure,
that's it. That is my number. What is it? 16.
Gosh, that's crazy to me. 15
last time, so holding strong, and I think this is where it's going to live, just because
it's that good.
I respect the game a lot. It's just not going to get played as much. Let's move on. Move on to my new game. The one new game in this 10, coming in at 15.
Gosh, okay.
I love this one. This one, this is sometimes it's a game that a lot of your games are they don't have a lot of theme, but you can find theme in them. Basically, it kind of gives you a taste of a theme. And some things you can latch onto and go, that's a really cool theme, or you're like, who cares about the theme? This is a theme I latched onto, and the theme just sings for me. It's a Euro game, but I can just relate to merchants of the dark road.
Yeah.
Because I just
this is totally.
It just reminds me of like I'm a merchant in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign or something. And I'm going and I'm getting all these magic items, and I'm hiring adventurers to ride around in my wagon. And I'm gonna go exploring across the dangerous, area, the dark road, to these other cities to deliver my goods. And it just, I don't know, it's a Euro game. You can just ignore the theme and think I just got these items and I'm selling them. Who cares? It just works for me. I really feel like. I'm a merchant. Look, I got these magic staves, and I'm going to go and deliver these to this city over here. And oh my gosh, there's an adventurer that wants to go with me. You want to come along with me on this adventure? And then even when you go out to make this travel, you can say, "Hey, does everybody want to go with me?" And have this big caravan of wagons traveling across the land to go deliver goods. It's just this game just works for me. It's basically at its heart, it's just a rondel. You're just driving your wagon around town, collecting items, collecting adventures, contracts, and then you go and you fulfill those contracts. That's kind of the mechanism at the heart, but for whatever reason, this game just... And you have even a little polyomino thing. You have your wagon, and you put all this... I just imagine this merchant guy, like, got a staff. He's like cramming it in the back of his wagon. Like, this is going to fit in here.
It's like that family vacation where everybody's suitcases are getting jammed in, you know, in the trunk of the car. It's like,
It's just
this
game it works for me. It just works for me. I don't know how to explain it.
You know what? This is the second game that you've talked about recently where you're kind of like you said, you're flipping it on its head instead of being like the adventures and stuff. Now you're the people in the background of the whole fantasy.
Yeah, Merchant's
scene.
Cove. Yeah, you're not the adventurer. You're that merchant guy.
Yeah, you're that merchant guy. I like how you put that. That's hilarious. And this one it's like strangely like addictive to play this one because
this one a lot.
As soon as I feel like we got like ramped up and stuff, the game's over. Let's play it again. You know, like I really want to play that one again right after we do it. So
it's just great. It got mechanisms I enjoy.
Yeah,
it's got a theme I really can get into. It just works. It just works for me. I don't know what else to say, but if it's just action selection, basically you're going around the city with your little wagon, picking different actions, doing different things, building up, getting ready to do this delivery. So I would say it's pick up and deliver, but it's not really a pick up and deliver game. It's more contract fulfillment.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's got events that happen, weird stuff when you're out on the dark road, weird things happen. When you go to the ruins to find magic items, weird things happen. You have these little animal companions that travel with you, give you little bennies and little superpowers.
Those are fun. I like them.
It's just really cool. This game is just really cool. I enjoy it a lot. If it was a different theme, same mechanisms, I don't know if it'd be near as high on my list. The theme just really,
it's really cool.
I have a very, in terms of like fantasy, like, you know, like orcs and that kind of fantasy thing. I just have a really solid imagination for that kind of stuff. I just can vision what's happening in the game. I can visualize that in my head, and it works for me.
Well, and in 2-player, it's about an hour-long game,
right.
And it's such a perfect, like, it's just a really nice length of time. It's like perfect for all the stuff you're doing, and it doesn't extend that much longer, really adding players, which is nice. So much fun.
One of my faves, my number 15, new to the list, brand spanking new to the list, Merchants of the Dark Road.
Have we played it by the time I made my list?
I think so, yes.
Did we? Maybe because we'd only gotten one play in, because I don't see it on my...
I'm pretty sure we played it.
Yeah.
Because we played it a long time ago, because we went on the Dice Tower Cruise, and we'd already played it. And that was last February.
Okay, so...
I don't know why.
Maybe. Oh, no, I lied. There it is. I was like, I could have sworn. Yeah, it was my 43.
Yeah, I thought you liked it too.
Yeah, I was like, I really liked this. Where is it?
Yeah, I know you've played it. You've had this for about a year now.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So good.
Let's move on to my number 14. Okay. So, I participated in this thing called the World Series of Board Gaming. Well, participated. I got trounced and destroyed. But in the process, I did a lot of plays. I played a ton of Splendor. I played a ton of Raw. I played a ton of Dune. Dominant Species Marines.
Yeah.
And I played a ton of Dune Imperium. For the most part, I'm sick and tired of those games. Splendor, if I never play Splendor again, I might be okay. Raw, if I ever play that again, I might be okay. Dominant Species Marines is once in a year or two game anyway.
Yeah.
But this one I didn't burn out on. I still love it. It's one of my favorites. It dropped a little bit from 10 to 14. That's because I got destroyed at it. No, actually, this is the one I almost won.
Yeah.
Literally, I could have won this game if it wasn't time crunched a little bit. They compressed the game down.
Right.
I still love it. It's one of my favorites. There's always it's all the rage. I mentioned last time with Endless Winter. There's that worker placement driven card, that deck building worker placement combo that's going on. This is my favorite of those. And that is Dune Imperium.
Let's go.
I love this game.
Big box.
This game is awesome. We got the cool minis for it. We played the base game so much to get ready for the World Series of Board Gaming that we haven't even played the expansion. There's another expansion that's out for it, so we're 2 expansions behind. It's right over there in my shelf of shame. So next time we play it, we're obviously going to play with the expansion. I just didn't want to play with the expansion stuff when I was in training for the
that'd be
Series.
crazy. That'd be crazy.
But I love this game. I've played this game with Rebecca a ton. I've played it with other people a ton. I played it by myself a ton. I literally set the board up and played 4-player by myself many, many times just to practice. And I still love it. I still want to play it. This game just...
it's good.
Multiple reasons. I love the worker placement, deck building. I like deck building that drives something else. And when it drives worker placement, that's like my best mechanism driven by one of my other best mechanisms. It's like a great combo for me. And the theme. It's probably my second favorite IP out there after Lord of the Rings.
Really? You like it better than Star Trek?
Probably.
I can't believe the things that I'm hearing today.
Probably. They're close. They're 2A and 2B. How's that?
I'll allow it.
But I've read all the books, even the crappy books that are written by not the author. I've read all the books.
Oh, wow.
Watched all the movies. I watched
wow.
all the everything. The TV series. I've watched everything.
What?
Everything Dune I've consumed.
What a nerd.
And I'm waiting for the second part to the new movie. I'm excited. Anyway.
Wait, what?
It's coming out this year. Second.
Is it really?
Dune second part.
Ooh.
Dune part 2.
Dune
second.
Imperium?
No. But this is a worker placement game. You're going out and you're doing actions. You're collecting resources. You're building up troops. You're doing some area control, which I like. The little fighty, the deterministic combat area control stuff going on. You got tracks on tracks. It's a race to points. I like games that have an indeterminate length where it's like you're rushing to get a certain number of points that triggers the end of the game. It's not just whoever has the most points after 6 rounds. It's the race to points, and whoever has the most points after the end game is triggered. It's amazing. One of my favorite games. Even with a lot of times when I play a game a ton, it gets pushed down. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
You've heard that throughout my list. Is like I always played this game a lot. It's just gonna drop something. In fact, we talked about Scythe in this section where it's like kind of dropped a little bit because we played it so much. This one, it did drop a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. I love this game. It's one of my faves.
I'm not surprised by that entirely at all. It's a solid game. It is really fun to play. And it's, like you said, it checks all the boxes of the things that you just really love. And you really love that combination of mechanisms.
Right.
That has been a huge thing. And I don't mind
Dune
wanting to play this all the time because it's super good.
Imperium.
So good. It's such a good game. Such a good game.
That's it. My number 14. It was 10 last time.
It's so light.
It's just cards and some miniatures.
I know. These other games are oh. I almost threw that one through the roof.
Dropped a little bit, but it's just
that's barely
it's just where it is.
Does that even count, really?
All right, let's move on to my 13. This one's gone up. It's up from it was 19 last time. It's 13 this time. We talked about its little brother, the one the game that crushed a little bit. Way back in my number 50, we talked about Raccoon Tycoon, who went up as well.
High.
Who went up as well, but this one went up from 19 to 13. So which is a bigger jump, from 77 to 50 in terms of relative things, or 19 to 13? I think 19 to 13.
I think the 19 to 13 feels much more epic.
And you know what? It's epic because it's Lizard Wizard.
This is my 37. I thought I loved this game.
Lizard.
Wow.
You forget something. Press your luck dungeon delving.
Oh, good point.
Press your luck dungeon
that
delving. So Raccoon Tycoon was the original. It's the kind of economy in terms of resources, prices by those so high economy with the resource. This has pretty much everything a Raccoon Tycoon has, and then you add more greatness on top of it. I think the production's even better for this one. Some people like the cute little kitty cats and the rabbits.
Yeah, but these are lizards.
I like the little wizards are guard. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this little guy. He's so cool. Yeah. He's a little wizard, and he's a lizard. Anyway, we got the Kickstarter version, which has all the cool components, all the bells and whistles, all the cool coins, and all the great stuff. It's awesome. It's got everything that Raccoon Tycoon. Plus, you have dungeon delving, where you press your luck. You're basically flipping over cards, hoping not to bust, getting as much treasure you can. Have little familiars that you can get that give you little bennies. It has all the different spells, which are basically like your buildings, but you have all these spells you can get. It's still got the set collection of you have a wizard towers, and you have the wizard. You want to match those together, but now you have a third thing. You match the tower with the wizard with the spell, and you get even more points. It's got that economy of resources. They're just spell components this time. Reagents. I always say regents. Reagents. Like mushrooms and little Eye of Newt and all sorts of weirdness.
It's hilarious.
It's awesome. It plays a little bit longer than Raccoon Tycoon does. It's got a little bit more rules than Raccoon Tycoon has, but it feels like a more full game, a more robust game, and I enjoy it. I hesitate to say this is the gamer version of Raccoon Tycoon, because Raccoon Tycoon is very much a gamer game as well, but this one's just got more going on. Raccoon Tycoon is like family weight plus. This is probably a heavier game. Plays a little bit longer, more rules to teach, a little more going on, but I love it. It gives me everything I love in Raccoon Tycoon, and it adds even more goodness on top of it, which I enjoy. Some people don't like the extra fluff. Might not like the extra fluff. I do. I think it's great. It's really cool. It is awesome. It's one of my favorite games. The theme doesn't hurt. Just like I said with Merchants of the Dark Road, I like fantasy themed games. This is very much fantasy themed. Raccoon Tycoon is kind of more. I would hesitate to say real world, like real world with
fantastical animals.
Fantastical animals. But this is like
fantasy.
This is very much fantasy. This is spell components and wizards and towers and exploring dungeons and all sorts of stuff. So
you keep hinting about the dungeons, so you need to explain the dungeons because it's
such a fun little
facet.
Just flipping over and trying to bust. It's very much like the it's like the Mystic Veil kind of thing. You flip over and you can only get so many bad things. But you can get different power spells that protect you. Like, I protect against undead. So undead doesn't cause me to bust, right? Yeah, it's like... So you get all these different spells that protect you. Fun. So you can get spells to help you with maybe your economy and your resources. But you also get spells to help you do the dungeons better. Right. And there's lots of points and money to be had in the dungeons if you can do it properly. And then what's interesting is the dungeon deck is set. And as you take treasures out, it makes the deck becomes weaker. So jumping in early and getting the ability to do those dungeons early is more beneficial because the bad stuff goes back in, the good stuff stays out. So I love it. It's a great game. It's just a really, really great game. We played this at the retreat a couple of years ago, and I fell in love immediately with it. And we already had it Kickstarted, and I was like so excited. The kid like, oh my god, come on in, I want my Kickstarter, because we played it early at the retreat, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I love all the different things and the way you can combine like the little towers and the wizards and stuff for victory points at the end, and you can match stuff up and collect sets and get more victory points. It's just there's just one among 10 million different little facets.
My number 13, Lucky 13, Lizard.
Such a good
wizard. Moving on, my number 12. Rebecca hates this game now.
I do.
She used to love it. Now she hates it.
Oh, really?
It's my number 12. It was 14 last time, so it got up a little bit. Got a little nudge. I want to play it again. Nudge. Because I and the factions we haven't played, and the fact that we haven't played with the board yet. Usually we play this game with lots of players. Is when we normally play this. We haven't really played.
Thanks, COVID.
The 2-player version.
Yeah.
And we haven't played this in a while. Rebecca's punitated this one to death. It's probably not even in our top 100 anymore. It's down to like 272.
No, it is not that far.
Yeah, it is. You look. I'm guessing it's like 170 plus. But it's my number 12 game of all time, and that is Star Trek Ascendancy. Who loves Star Trek? I love Star Trek. She hates Star Trek.
I do not. You're so mean.
Star Trek Ascendancy. So this is the very much attacky dudes on the map, like go out and conquer each other and conquer planets and that sort of thing. It's a very interesting game. You go out and you're controlling planets. You're getting resources on planets. Some races attack planets and control them, like the Federation, like hegemonism, whatever that means.
What?
Hegemonism.
What?
Basically, they join the Federation. They do nicely, not so nicely invite them to join the Federation. Resource management. You're building a map. Basically, the game starts out and everyone just got their little home planet set in front of them in the middle of a table, and you're building these planets out. You're building these little warp tunnels that connect all the different planets. It's like a big, almost looks like an ant mound maze of planets everywhere at the end of the game.
Yep.
You're building ships, you're upgrading your powers, you're getting new technologies. It's 4X-ish. I wouldn't. And what's interesting in this game, it seems like you got all this stuff going on. That's a race to like 5 points.
Yeah, that's the weird.
Basically, you get these culture points that are like super hard and expensive to get, and I think it's first to 5 wins. And it's really weird that it's that simplistic in terms of how you decide who wins. There's ways you can annihilate people and knock them out of the game. It doesn't happen very often, unless either people are brutally mean to you or you're not playing super good. You're probably not going to get knocked out of the game. But,
right, that's fair.
It's a longer game. It plays. It's probably It's minimum 3 players. I want to say, an hour player? That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
5 player. We played a 5-player game one time, and it probably was a 5 or 6 hour thing. We weren't playing super fast. You probably could play faster with super experienced people.
No, I think we were kind of playing it very casually that time too, so it would be shorter.
But it's rolling dice, attacking in your face, fighting kind of game. It's not a hybrid by any stretch of the imagination. It's very.
Which is why I punished it a lot too, because I hadn't been very.
What's wrong with dice?
Well, it's dice and it's super attacky. Let me count the waves.
So there's all these different factions. I've played pretty much all of them except for the 2 sitting on our little shelf of shame over there. We got the Andorians and the Vulcans that we haven't played yet.
I don't want to play those so bad.
They've been sitting up there for years, pre-COVID. And we never played with the board, which is that you can play with 2 players. You need to play 1 player with the board, I think.
That's interesting. We need to do that.
Haven't done that yet. We need to get those back to the table. That's the reason it got bumped. I mentioned to play this one again. I mentioned to try this one out. In fact, we could play this tomorrow. Ooh. Star Trek Ascendancy, my number 12. My number 12. Alright.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Alright, got bad news. Bad news. We're at number 11.
Oh, I'm excited. This is like
It's bad news.
Barely made the top 10.
Got a news flash.
A news flash?
News flash.
Okay.
The game that's been in my top 10 5 years in a row has dropped out.
What?
The reason being, I still love this game. It's my number 11 game of all time. I love it. It is amazing. Rebecca despises this game with every ounce of her soul.
I know what game it is then.
What?
You always say this.
What?
It's Champions of Midgard.
It is Champions of Midgard.
I don't hate this game. Okay.
Where is it on your list, dear?
The Dark Mountains and Valhalla saved this game for me.
Where is it? Saved it so much. You're looking
119.
119.
Dude, it could go up.
I just got duded.
Yes. I just duded you.
You just duded me. That's a thing in our household. When someone said dude, it's a thing. Dude. She duded me. Anyway. No, the expansions, and I know you're going to go into this, but the expansions make this game really good. I loved the game before the expansions. You did. Because way back when it first came out, it was my number 5. 5, 5, 4, 3, 8, 9, 11. Wow, that's crazy. It is one of my faves. It just didn't get played as much. This is another one that's kind of suffered from lots of plays. That's true. And she is like when I talk about viticulture, people have moved on. She's kind of moved on from this game. All right. I will play the Champions of Midgard. It is a worker placement, dice-driven combat game. So it's basically worker placement. And you got all the Uri stuff going on. You're collecting resources. You're doing set collection. You're getting superpowers, all that sort of stuff. But all in an effort to build up the venturing party, which is little different warrior dice. You go out here slaying big trolls and sea monsters and giants and all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's got that great mesh up, for me anyway, of Yuri stuff and rolling dice and combat. She likes the expansion. I like the expansions too, because in the past, if you rolled dice and you just had bad luck, you could do re-rolls. There's things that you can spend for re-rolls, but for the most part, tough luck. Tough luck. The Valhalla expansions, Dirt Towers just gives you more things to do, more stuff to fight, more choices. Valhalla is, if your stuff dies, you get these little tokens, and these tokens are like almost contract fulfillment. So you get all these little tokens. You can do certain things. They give you certain bennies and stuff. So it's like a constellation prize. You suck at rolling dice. Here's some constellation stuff. You're great at rolling dice. You get to kill the monsters. You get all kinds of bennies. So notice how I said that. But I swear, I always say this. I always forget to do it. I swear, when we play this, I wanted to keep a little tally off of the side, which is not looking. I'll be like, good dice roll. Bad dice roll. Good dice roll. Bad dice. I bet you focus in on the bad rolls, and you don't cherish and enjoy the good rolls. You're like, oh, I crapped out, and then like good roll. I hate this game. I rolled bad again. It doesn't matter now because Valhalla makes it happy. I'm like, oh look, they died. I get stuff. 119. Is that what it was? Yes, 119. Anyway, my number 11 all time. It dropped out of my top 10 just because. I still like it a lot. Because the new games pop in and just something had to drop out. Speaking of which, I That's it for this time. Let's talk about next time.
Oh man!
Next time, the top 10. It's gonna be live. Top 10.
That's true.
Join us live or watch after the fact, whichever you prefer. My top 10. Let's take a little look. Let's take a look. See.
Okay.
We have 3 games that went up.
Okay.
One of which that wasn't in my top 10.
Well, one just dropped out, so.
4 games that went down. 2 that stayed exactly the same, and 1 new game.
You have a new game in your top 10?
New game.
Oh, I know what game that is.
Hey!
I'm not gonna say.
Bye!